he could do with that kind of form at the start of this penultimate mini-session. And the Stephen Hendry Trophy awaits the winner, the first to 9 frames. One thing that O'Sullivan has struggled to do throughout this final so far is to get in first. More off successfully in the 5th frame, which felt as though it might when he closed to 3-2. And it looked as though Selby was moving 4-1 up. But in the event, Joe, Selby won the last 3 of the afternoon for this 6-2 lead.
Yeah, as you say, Ronnie O'Sullivan has had chances, and you don't expect him to be in that 8th frame. Wasn't the best break-off. He gave Mark Selby a chance. Needs a quick start, you would think.
In the Scottish Open since the home nations began. Of course, he didn't enter the first 3 years UK Championship, but having decided to do so last season, he of course went on to win the title, beating Jack Lazowski in the final, and now just 3 frames away from retaining it.
An early chance for bringing that red over the left.
As mentioned, aside from that, virtually nothing of note.
Well, that's the worst possible start for us. That second kiss, sending the cue ball into the reds. It would have been relatively safe with the cue ball. So, may have to play a little cannon here.
One.
And played it well.
To home nations as O'Sullivan watches on. Just the one semi-final before he won the English Open last season in
9.
Very comprehensive his partner Dave Gilbert. But of course then added the Scottish Open as well to become the first player to win 2 of these events in a single campaign, since matched of course by Judge.
60.
And having already bagged the European Masters at the start of this campaign. Further evidence that he is back to his very best after a couple of seasons where he seemed to lose some confidence. English Open.
Because he was straight on the black. So he couldn't play it any harder because he was hitting that red on the right side cushion. So this is the best he could get on this red.
25.
Preferred to play for the long red instead of coming in confident in his potting ability.
Right
in the middle. Always a good sign when they go right in the middle. The red just below them. And that makes it easier for the red directly above the black. So once it takes this red, in fact it may even be on the other red, the one directly above the black. And that would be a good ball to take. And this is now looking good.
49.
Yet again, Selby in first to the long red.
Yes, it wasn't a difficult pot, was it?
46.
He would have expected to have got this red. This is the red. It wasn't too difficult. It was playing back up for the blue. He could have dropped it in dead weight for the black, but he saw some. So I'm just going to sit and wait and hope he gets back to the table.
The overall record favours O'Sullivan quite significantly, 16 wins to 10, but when it comes to finals, Selby holds sway, including the full set of Triple Crown final. What an opportunity he's giving himself here to extend his lead.
54. $61.
Still needs another red after this red. Not straightforward.
62.
If he could skim past the reds, land somewhere around about there. Accurate with his positional play though. And all he needs is the red.
69.
But it's Mark Selby. Barring snookers. He could do with this blacking. It's just one snook. No mistake. Again, right in the middle. No danger of missing.
77.
Needs a good kiss.
78.
And that wasn't it. Take the difficult pink. Oh, well, surprised. Not interested in the century.
So Mark Selby with one hand on his bags of snookers and in a snooker. Five of them to be precise.
Nicely played. Well judged. May find himself in another one. Don't blame him for playing on. Just got to get the feel of the table again. Maybe pot a few balls, if he gets the chance.
At one point earlier in the session this afternoon, O'Sullivan looked to be trying to play on with just the black left, which seemed, even by Ronnie's standards, a bit left field.
Mark Selby playing just as tight. Doesn't want to give Ronnie a chance to get a few pots going.
Well, if there's one player who is not going to be fazed by the prospect of O'Sullivan needs 5 snookers with another chance to put this frame to an end once and for all. Awkward queuing though.
Yeah, it was awkward queuing. Well played. Now the only way you can keep Ronnie O'Sullivan sat them all. No choice then but to set them up. Brown went on the pink spot. Pink will go on the blue spot.
Two particularly notable performances from Selby coming into this final. His 5-4 where Walden played very well too. And then last evening's display against Jamie Jones. 3 consecutive centuries, more or less faultless. Well, he's not been quite as good as that today, but look at the scoreline against one of his great rivals.
17.
And at the moment, bossing him.
Yeah, well, you can't do much more than
18.
win the frame at one visit. You don't need to make 3 centuries on the bounce. 3 70s on the bounce will do. Always nice to make centuries, I know, but most important thing is the frame.
24. 26.
Oh, what about that for a positional shot? Lots of right-hand side to create that angle to get to the green.
29.
And as I said earlier, the only way to keep pot them all.
33. 38.
It felt like O'Sullivan needed a very quick start since it's Mark Selby who's dominated the first frame. O'Sullivan
44.
failing to trouble the scorers. .38 and 51 from the defending champion. He's now just 2 frames away from retaining his title. He leads Ronnie O'Sullivan by 7 frames to 2. For £70,000, a handy pre-Christmas bonus. But it's all about the silverware, or in this case, the crystalware. And Ronnie O'Sullivan, brilliant though he is, surely has to win this frame. Seems impossible to think that Selby could lose.
Yes, we talk about big frames. They're all big from now on for Ronnie O'Sullivan. If you can keep him off 8, he'll think he's got a chance. But as Philip said, if he gets to trying to make something happen, which he's quite capable of.
Well, he did put together a 5-frame burst, of course, against Li Hang from a very precarious 4-1 down in the semi-finals. As we know, he is capable of really... Certainly not for lack of trying. His application throughout this season has been absolute. He's due care and attention, apart from those where perhaps he feels he had no choice but to hit and hope. But you couldn't question O'Sullivan's determination. It's just that his form has been very in and out. I guess the form...
Well, that in itself speaks volumes for O'Sullivan. 4 new tips and he's in the final.
Yeah, and he could have been put away a couple of times, couldn't he? Let's be honest, Tian Peng Fei. But O'Sullivan somehow found a way through. Mark's in such forgiving mood.
Well, you can't do anything about it. If O'Sullivan finds some form, doesn't matter who you are. To see him leaving anything on, unless he played the 2 cushion escape, but if he just plays into the reds, can't leave anything. He's played the 2 cushion escape and played it very well. He's unfortunate to have gone in off. That's where a new tip comes into play, because He's playing it full length of the ball, and you're not absolutely sure how far it's going to throw, if at all. It didn't throw enough there, so he caught it just a little bit too thick.
O'Sullivan 7% against 92% for 3 from 9 from long range. Selby at 70% in that regard, which is excellent. 14 from 20.
Well, he's took a risk there, opening the reds up. But he's covered the easy one over the left corner, I think. He's covered that one. And that's... Well, I am so surprised he's played that shot because the double kiss is always on. I felt it. Very difficult to avoid. Caught it full ball. Wasn't like it was Sullivan with a chance. And look at the reds. This is what he wanted.
Point.
Wants to get rid of that red just above the black as soon as possible. Easy, around the black spot. Oh dear. No. Again, I can put that down to a new tip. He's just put a let off for Mark Selby. And what a disappointment.
This evening.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 8.
Well, he didn't just get down and play the safety there. He gave it some thought. And from that, two cushions and land up into the back of the reds. Oh, got to be careful here. If he's playing down the table, the double kiss could be on. Just landing up to them. But he leaves the red to the middle if he doesn't get it right. Oh, that's pretty. Now a little bit of a dilemma. Ronnie O'Sullivan. I don't know how you could have played that. I don't know how he could have played that. You're betting on him missing this red for the front. The reds are nicely spread. Well, it worked for him. And he's left a red to the middle, so it was a calculated risk, that one. And invited Mark Selby to pot it. So back in again.
Point.
I liked his attitude last time he came to the table, Ronnie O'Sullivan, because he must have been really disappointed not being in position, but he really come here to put Mark Selby.
7.
Didn't drop his head, didn't just play down the table. He played a very, very good safety. Trouble again. Same shot, but this time he's perfect. This is the shot that Mark Selby missed. Just caught the wrong side of the red.
$50.
Again, give himself choice of two reds there. Playing that cue ball where it is now. He's got choice.
$23.
Well, just gone through a little further than he wanted. Got to go into them now. No choice. And it's worked out okay.
31.
Slightly hampered by the red. Didn't want the kiss. Now does this red go to the right corner?
38.
He's out of position. If it doesn't go, looks like it does.
A measure there of the dominance of Selby today. 802 for O'Sullivan.
39.
He might pull another 100.
$46. 47. 54. 55.
Again, he's lost the cue ball a little. Didn't want to be so far away from the black. Play for the red on the cushion. And he's overhit that one. Just potted the black a little thin. That's why he lost control of the cue ball. Just needs the red. And he's not safe yet.
For O'Sullivan, 62.
Well, O'Sullivan misses frame.
So, not easy to...
One.
That's the best way to play it, but he's a little bit too straight. It wasn't easy, that. When the object ball's left middle, he's okay, but... One good shot needed.
8.
Still needs to leave himself an angle on the colour to disturb the reds.
9.
Good recovery. And that's the angle. Oh, great chance now. Great chance.
16.
I think this red does go to the left middle.
Seven.
We're trying his best to make sure he punishes O'Sullivan.
$24. 25.
Ronnie O'Sullivan he was going so well. I'm not sure how the red stayed out. He wasn't perfect on the red, just needed to drop it in. This is a red. It was always high, but still thought it was going to drop. Maybe another roll would have... Now, pinning all his hopes on that last red. And that's not the best position to get to. A little straighter. He could have made this red easy. So needs a good shot with the rest, and he missed one like this earlier.
From closing the gap.
Oh, he stayed out. What a let-off for Ronnie O'Sullivan. That's twice he's missed the same shot. He missed it on the near angle last time. This time it was the far angle. It's a relief for Ronnie O'Sullivan fans. Overcompensated. He tried to make sure. He could have screwed it in, gone down for one of the colours. I think the blue would have...
10.
Is that misread the start of something for Ronnie O'Sullivan? This frame ball read himself, and it looked for all the world. Had Selby knocked in that red, just he was going to go 6 down with 7 to play. A seemingly hopeless task.
17.
As it is, he's won a reprieve, to be 2 frames away from the title. O'Sullivan closing to within 4 again.
22.
Yeah, he'd have set his sights on winning this session 3-1. Can still... Oh, what a kick. Didn't matter.
O'Sullivan 22. And the 5th.
A break of 62 from one ball red, but Mark Selby with a chance to clear up. Missed the red with the rest. It's now 7-3.